Hello, my name is Adriana Matthews, and this is my diversity video for my ED 506 class at the University of West Alabama. The first book that I chose to read is The Rainbow Fish by Marcus Pfister. This is a great book for kindergarten and pre-K students about friendship, sharing, and also uniqueness. The story starts off with a rainbow fish. He has pretty shiny scales, so glimmery. And he's swimming around, and a little fish comes along. He asks, "Can he have one of his shiny scales?" And the rainbow fish is kind of mean to the little blue fish. He tells him, "No, who do you think you are?" and to get away. So he hurts the little blue fish's feelings, and the little blue fish goes out and he tells the other fish. And now no one in the ocean wants to talk to or play with the rainbow fish. So the rainbow fish is thinking, why am I so pretty and so shiny if no one wants to play with me, if I have no one to talk to? So he goes and he seeks advice from the wise octopus. And the wise octopus tells the rainbow fish that maybe he should think about sharing some of his scales. Maybe then he could have a little happiness. So he thinks about it and he goes along his day. And the little blue fish comes back. And the little blue fish asks again, "Can I have one of your shiny scales?" So this time, the rainbow fish decides to let him have one of his scales. So he shares with the rainbow fish, and the rainbow fish feels happy. He feels the sense of happiness come over him. So he thinks, well, maybe if I share some more, I can be even more happy. So he goes along and he shares his shiny scales with all the fish in the ocean. And now they become friends. Everybody has a little bit of uniqueness to them. And they all become friends and they go off and they play. So that's a great story to read to our students when it comes to sharing and also appreciating the differences that we all have with each other. A great little activity that we also do to go along with this book is I pass out scale outlines, and I let the kids decorate the scales with glitter, markers, crayons, whatever little pictures that they cut out, whatever makes that scale unique to them. And we cut that scale out and we put it on a big outline of a fish, and it represents our family community within our classroom. That all of us are unique and different in every way, but together we still make a community. The next book that I chose to read is The Grouchy Ladybug. And this book is by Eric Carle. It's a great book for kindergarten and also pre-K students about social skills, empathy, and also treating others with respect. So the story starts off with two ladybugs having aphids for breakfast on a leaf. One is a friendly ladybug and the other one is a not so nice grouchy ladybug. The friendly ladybug is willing to share the aphids that are on the leaf, but the grouchy ladybug wants to say that they're mine, mine, all mine, which is not very nice. So he tells the ladybug, "Do you want to fight for them?" The friendly ladybug is like, "Okay, we can fight." But the grouchy ladybug says, "No, you're not big enough," and he flies away. So he goes on throughout his day and he encounters different animals of different sizes. And each and every time he asks the same question, "Do you want to fight?" And every time the animals are like, "Okay, we can fight." And every time he says, "Oh no, you're not big enough." And he flies away. So as his day goes on, the animals get bigger and bigger. And he's still asking, "Do you want to fight?" So you can't even see the ladybug. And every time he says, "You're not big enough," and he flies off. Finally, he gets to a whale, and he's talking to the whale. He talks to the fins, and they're not giving him a reply. So he keeps asking, "You want to fight? You want to fight?" Finally, he gets to the tail, and the tail smacks him back all the way to, guess what? Right back where he started. But the day is gone. And now the friendly ladybug is still there. And she says, I still have aphids left. Do you want to have them for dinner? See, she's still willing to share. Now the grouchy ladybug says, okay, and thank you. I will have some for dinner. So even though he's been mean to the friendly ladybug, she's still being nice to him. And he realizes, well, maybe I shouldn't have been mean after all. So that's a good book to teach our students about respecting others, how to not talk to others, how to be friendly, and also understanding how others feel. A great activity that we can do to go along with this book, I have sat down with my students and we'll chart down on chart paper our feelings. We try to think of the feelings that we feel throughout the day, from happiness to sadness, angry. I'll write those down. We might draw a picture to go along with it. And I'll even ask the students to go along and make those faces along with me. Show me your happy face. Show me your mad face. And once we get done charting those answers down, we'll go around and we'll take a count. We'll go along and we'll ask each student, well, how do you feel? And we'll make tally marks beside each of those feelings. Once we're done, we can tie that into counting. We can count up how many are feeling a certain way. And it also teaches us how to empathize with others because we're seeing how those kids feel at that specific time. And maybe we can lend a hug or a high five, something to brighten somebody's day. So that's a great activity that we've chosen to do to go along with the Grouchy Ladybug. The next book that I chose is The Goodbye Cancer Garden. And this book is written by Jana Matthews. And it's a great book for kindergarten, first grade. You could even read it to your pre-K students. And it deals with a family that have been hit with the news that their mom has cancer. So the story starts off with them getting the news. Mom and dad sitting down telling them. And they're trying to figure out how to process their feelings of hearing that their mom is sick and that she's going to be sick for a while. They go to the doctor with mom, and the doctor explains that mom is going to have to take some medicines and she's also going to have surgery to get rid of the cancer. And then mom is going to be better by the time that pumpkins come. So, what other great idea did the kids come up with other than to plant a garden? They said, well, we can plant a garden. And the flowers growing, the veggies growing will symbolize you getting better. And by the time that those pumpkins are ready, you'll be all done with your treatments. So they decide to do just that. They plant their garden. Mom even goes through the stages of losing her hair. She goes through her chemo and her radiation. They even have a party with their family and friends celebrating their mother's cancer treatments almost being finished. And they eat some of those vegetables from that garden. Everybody's so impressed with how they taste. And finally, when October comes, guess what? The pumpkins are ready to be plucked. They're nice and ripe. And it also symbolizes mom's end of cancer treatment. She's cancer-free. Her hair is starting to grow back. The kids are so happy. And a good way to celebrate mom's end of treatment, they make pumpkin bread together. Pumpkin bread, and they roast pumpkin seeds. And they save some of those pumpkin seeds for next year's garden. So that's a great book to read to your students when it comes to dealing with different illnesses that might pop up in the classroom. Maybe they have a family member who's dealing with cancer or another illness or a certain type of disability or sickness. This is a great book to read to help cope with those feelings. Maybe they can come up with some good ways to deal with it, just like this family did. And a good activity that you can do to go along with this to help out with your students is the Cancer Ribbon Project. I've taken different colored sheets of construction paper, cut out, the little ribbon shapes, and I've let the kids decorate them. The different colors symbolize the different types of cancer, and gold is specific to childhood cancer. So we'll decorate those ribbons. The kids can color them, stickers, glitter, however. And either you can post them in your classroom, you can post them in your school. Maybe you can even call some local businesses and also have them displayed in their business to help promote cancer awareness. So those are all great ways to tie in cancer awareness with your kids, to talk about those feelings that might come up, because I know I've dealt with it in my family, and having something to read and to relate to definitely helps out. Having diverse literature inside of your classroom is a great way to expose children not only to different cultures and different traditions that students might have other than theirs, it also exposes them to the differences within ourselves, differences with how we look, differences with how we feel. Not everybody reacts to the same situations, and not everybody feels the same way. So it's a great way to expose kids to different feelings, something that they're not used to in their everyday life. A great way to promote empathy with others, and also those great social skills, how to get along with others, how to appreciate those differences that make us all who we are. So, diverse literature is a great thing to have inside of our classroom.